Store or the iOS from the Apple App Store. Register and Welcome to Futron Africa, your getaway to cheap, quick, and safe rides with vetted and experienced drivers. Welcome to Futron Africa, your getaway to cheap, quick, and safe rides with vetted and experienced drivers. Planning on going somewhere? Just download the Futron app for Android from the Google Play Store or the iOS from the Apple App Store. Register and request your rides. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, whether it's Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to receive service updates and promotions. Do you own a car? Do you want to make extra money? Do you want to be your own boss? Do you want to work when you want to? Why don't you join the Futron Driver program? We are recruiting drivers across major cities. Download the Futron Driver app for Android from the Google Play Store or for iOS from the Apple App Store and register. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to view the driver requirements for registration. Registration is free of charge. Download the app and request your ride or join.
Well, it's a very good evening to you. If you can hear the sound of my voice here, do let us know where you're logging in from. Type in the comment box right there. We're here for a quick news review, just looking into what has happened in our country and around the world. And I'm joined here by a few analysts. I'm also joined by the prolific Howard Nyoni, joining us live from the United Kingdom. You can hear the sound of my voice over there. Just press the share button. We've got some of the topics that are there are typed in and right above where you are. Right. Good evening, Mr. Nyoni. I hope you can hear me there.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Well, thank you very much. You have stoked a lot of controversy. Maunza nyaya dzakawandisisa mu community mudzanetsa. Kana kuti toti ndime ere kana kuti toti ndivamwe vaya.
Vapi vacho futi handichavazii.
Well, but quickly. Our viewers, readers, and listeners here, if you can hear the sound of my voice over there, let me know where you're logging in from. Just type in the comments. I'm going to see people already typing there. Well, thank you very much. Spelele Mzombe has just come in. Well, here we are. We have the ruling party today in a development is accused of one of their information department's Twitter accounts voting for the contender, the presidential contender, Xavier Kasukuwere. Have you seen that post? It's going all over the place. I can't verify it, or at least as yet. But what do you think? We've got several others that we're going to discuss tonight. But quickly, we have this one that is hot, and it's relating to a very, very popular preacher, and his name is Talent Chiwenga. And I know the story is quite vast, it's quite broad, it says one thing, it says another thing in the middle. It's like it's all across. Inenge ine zvakawandisa zvakangowanda hanzi lemwe varapa hanzi masports akuputika ega manu gava hanzi masports akuputika. Right. Well, so many things happening today, and I'm sure here there are many other news items that we should be discussing, but because of time we are limited. Quickly, Mr. Nyoni, what's going on with the preacher who 6 years ago, I brought you and him on this news network, and at that time we were discussing the pre-coup era. What has happened to your Tomutichi contemporary, Talent Chiwenga?
Okay, pre-coup era. So, okay, let me just put it this way.
Yes.
Mkoma now, as you are putting it, 6 years ago, I warned the people of Zimbabwe that is a serial womanizer.
Right.
And as a serial womanizer, not only
You
is
actually
he...
use those extreme words. I do remember a little bit of it, but are you telling me that you actually describe this man who so many Zimbabweans follow and adore, and they believe, some believe that he is someone who's just telling the truth. But I'm seeing here so many others are saying opposite. So you're telling me you said this man is a serial womanizer?
Yeah, and not only did I say that, I started a group where I tried to knock some sense into our people. Because where I saw it heading, it is exactly where it is. Kuti Patriots zvituna, and the rest is history. So now, my aim and my motive and my agenda is to see to it that vanasikana vemuzimbabwe havaendereri mberi vachiabuswa sezviri kuitwa vana vemuzimbabwe nevafundisi. And in this particular case, zviri kuitwa naTalent Chiwenga. So now, there is pane ma-audio messages ari kucirculate. I'm sure you are in possession of mama clips acho.
Yes, I am in possession of them.
Yeah?
I have seen these. I have heard these audios, sir. But please continue, and also bear in mind some people are saying you've got hatred for the man. Continue, please.
Okay. The people who are saying I've got hatred for the man, I think they've got hatred for me. Because we are at a stage where Munoari Normal is seeing what is happening. So now, when this man was abusing Musikana Tariro Mafuka, I told the people of Zimbabwe, kuti Talent Chiwenga ari kutora mari dzechurch. Matithes, not matithes, anonzi ma covenant offerings. Mipiro akanotenga kana kuti akanorendesa imba, a big house kunotoni, achirendera Tariro Mafuka, akamubvisa ikoko nemari yechechi, akamuendesa kuSouth Africa. Not only that, there are so many cases where Talent Chiwenga is abusing vasikana. There are 3-4 girls muHarare, tisikaverengi Tariro, tisikaverengi Tsitsi uyu, akarepewa recent, akarepewa panguva iyoyo. So now my audio messages are circulator. The most foolish argument I heard was today, pandanzwa kuchinzi valoya ari kuti Talent Chiwenga akatuma musikana uyu kuti aende kunotaurira vanhu vemuchechi kuti Talent Chiwenga akarara naye, so that agotesta vanhu vari faithful nevasiri faithful on the case yokuti musikana uyu ari kutaura kuti ndakararwa naTalent Chiwenga. What rubbish is that? Do you think munhu ane 5 senses will believe to that crap? Kuti Talent Chiwenga akanotaurira musikana kuti famba uchitaurira vanhu kuti inini ndakarara newe, tione kuti ndevapi vari faithful. In the first place, by doing that, anenge achida kuprova chii? Ndo zvakaita maapostles omubhaibheri, ndo zvakaita Jesu izvozvo, ndo zvakaita madisciples, kuti vakafamba vachiti vachirara nevakadzi voti indai munotaura vanhu vemuchechi kuti ndakarara nomukadzi, tione vari faithful so that we can screen those who are with us. That is a sick excuse. So now my case is, akati aabusa mwanasikana, tazviona kuzonyepa kuti uti ndakazonomutaurira kuti afambe achitaurira vanhu kuti ndamurepa, zvinoreva chii? That was a way of trying to what? To squash nyaya yanga achifamba achitaurwa nomusikana kuti Talent Chiwenga akandi abuse. And the abuse might have gone as deeper as rape, because mwana uya are so traumatized when you hear her voice. So now, when we say this man is an apostle, and there are people who are taking him serious, I wonder in which planet some of us are living from. Vamwe vanhu totoda kutobatsirwa musoro titoendeswa kuma-psychiatrist, nokuti vanhu vakutopeka, especially vanhu vanotaura mukomana akaita so uyu, they need help. Are you still there, Simba?
Yes, sir. I can hear you perfectly. Elisha M still maintains her or his view that you have hatred for Talent Chiwenga. Anzi mune zvaminazvo zvamuno zvamakabatirira paruvengo panyaya yoruvengo nemukomana uyu.
Simba, don't forget that we might end up wasting our time on Nema keyboard warriors. Ari ku Zanu PF, ari kwa Angel Ubet, ari kwa Talent Chiwenga. So just ignore that. Vanu va Talent Chiwenga vari kunyora zvikungo distract vanhu attention. So let's continue, please. Just forget about those people.
Well, Arisha M, I am inviting you to join us on Twitter Space. So you can actually come on our Twitter Space and we discuss. And I mean that, like literally, you can come even on video. So you could actually join, click the link there. You come in on video. We converse Toto Fambaninyaya just like this. How is that, Arisha? So I'm going to try and move on to more comments here. Spelelemzo, we've got people watching and listening, and also here people on Twitter Space. Folks, tell me, Mr. Nyoni.
Yes.
Shall I not blame you also that you stood in a discussion with this young man? You should have been smart. You should have picked up that Talent Chiwenga would get to this level.
So where is the blame? What are you blaming me for?
Well, you should be someone who must have exercised foresight, because, I mean, my point is, when we listen to the audios, all of them, 4 of them, and then we go to the video in which Talent Chiwenga is talking, it is too clear. It is just too clear that Talent Chiwenga is confessing that he did it. He's even saying that he's a sinner, that he was called by God and he's only qualified by the Almighty. There's further detail here. Chiwenga goes on to announce that what he is accused of doing, though be true, it will not deter him, because Ndiri, a man of God. There's further detail in that. Again, Chiwenga mentions someone who he says has been living inside my home. I've been feeding him. And then this person left the home and went out, and then they started spreading content out there, when yet I, Talent Chiwenga, had been feeding them. My point is, the information so far, Mr. Nyoni, it's too clear that this young man did it. And then he goes on to even talk about embarrassing bedroom pictures. I'm going to use such a term so that we can all flow with respect here. He says that there are pictures that he has even been demanded money over, so that he pays money. My point is, it's so clear. How could you continue from 2017, Mr. Nyoni, and you didn't seem to raise enough noise to protect victims, when this young man, and I'm talking about now, the last bit, number 5, the content that Chiwenga talks about, he releases, it connects with what his mother-in-law has been saying all along, that this young man has always been an immoral, a dishonest character for a very long time. There are numerous women in Goromonzi. You remember she mentioned Goromonzi?
Yes.
So even that time, Mr. Nyoni, when you came here on Zimai, and both of you were commenting over our politics.
Okay, I think you are not getting your facts right.
Yes.
What you are saying is, after knowing about his promiscuity and it, I did not raise the alarm. That's not the fact.
No. No,
when
my
you
point is,
invited me,
yes, I invited you. Yes.
when you invited me during Mugabe's reign, when you were discussing the issue of Grace Mugabe with this guy, and that time, all his, and even, you see, the way you did it, you invited me to the studio. I did not even know that I was going to share the panel with him. One. So now, that time, the information which I had about him was so limited. Because that is the time Paaka Buddha kuti paakatanga kuti like explode. So in other words, what I am simply saying is, when I came to your studio and I was talking about the situation in Zimbabwe, about Grace Mugabe, about Zanu PF, and he came also in the line, I didn't even know that I was going to share the same platform with him. So I was not going to say, the person I am sharing the platform with, I don't agree with him, so I am pulling out. I couldn't have done that. My point being that patakapinda muplatform tichitaura nezvepolitical situation, iye aitotaurawo achikukizana nezanu. There was no point, there was no need, there was no reason for me to say, the person who is my co-panelist is like this. It would have lacked wisdom. I couldn't have done that. Kuti nditaure nomunhu about a situation, hazvirevi kuti munhu wachona ndinowirirana naye. Neyowe unotozviziva kuti inini newe there are issues which we don't agree on. So, but that does not nullify our engagement. I don't know if you are with me.
I'm listening to you, but I need you to understand the reason why I asked you that is because people will still ask you, because you will remember that the perception of the Zimbabwean psyche there was that you have a personal tiff with Talent Chiwenga. So
okay,
manga muchidyidzana mese mazopesana papi. Why?
Aiwa. Inzwa Simba. Inini ndikati Zanu PF zvairi person ane views ari kune rimwe rutivi achiti zviri kuitwa neZanu PF hazvina kunaka. Hazvirevi kuti inini nemunhu iyeye tinowirirana. Does that mean that? Can you answer me? Kana ndikati Mugabe anga achitidzvinyirira, umwe munhu ari kuSouth Africa kuti Mugabe anotidzvinyirira. So does it mean inini nemunhu iyeye tinoshare anything in common? Kana kuti tiri kungowirirana on a point of contact yekuti tiri kutaura pamusoro pechinhu chimwe chete at a given time. Does that suggest that I'm part of him? You know that this is the same guy akanyora tsamba akacreata malawyer ari fake ku Northampton ku UK akati I was part of his church achinyepa. Did you hear? Let me just go out of topic about these false preachers. Maponga did the same thing 2 days ago. Akati Howard was a part of my church in Zvishavani anga ari gwai rangu. Maponga said that also. So now, really? Do you take that seriously?
Maponga, the mystic,
yes, I can send you the link. I was surprised that he even went on to say he knows members of my family. I've never lived in Zhishavani all my life. So, if someone says that, do you take them serious? You know, Talent Chiwenga wrote a letter. Akaiposta kumba kwangu akati anzi izo. This man I am a pastor from Zimbabwe. Can you take off his videos on YouTube because I'm a pastor who is serving Zimbabwe, and this man ane godo nokuti anga ari part of my church asinda kamudzinga dosaka achindikwikwidza. So do you mean to tell me you don't know that?
I do remember the letters, Mr. Nyoni, and I remember, and I want to say, I was also shocked that someone who I brought together with you during the time when he was not so popular, and he was sending me his videos to publish, to help, and for him it was a way of his activism. political or religious activism, is now claiming that you were a member of his church. I wondered kuti munhu uyu, where is he getting maguts akadai? Chivindi chakadai chokuti anoaccusa someone who is several years older. I mean, you must be like 15, if not 20 years older than the young man, right?
Okay,
Then man is 25 years old.
Can I add something on that?
Mhm.
Pama audio messages are to circulate.
Right.
Ane zvivindi zvokuti ati mother-in-law vake vari bipolar. What an insult. You know why? Mother-in-law of Talent Chiwenga, she is one of the sweetest people you can meet on earth. Munhu ari very dignified, munhu ane chokwadi, munhu ane chiremera. And anoenda achiudza vanhu nyika yese kuti. And do you know why she was doing that? Why he was doing that? Because musikana iyeye aitaurira kuti mother-in-law vake vari bipolar. Anga achivhara nyaya yokuti akamurepa, kuti anotaurira vana valoi, anenge achiti ndaimavataura kuti andakarara, yanga iti nyaya yekukavha kuti akamuabuse. Akarara naye asingadi. And ane zviviri zvokuti anotaurira musikana uyu kuti mother-in-law vake vanga vari bipolar. Iye ane hanya naye. What is the case here, Simba? Magaya akanzi akatumira musikana kuBotswana akafa mysteriously. What was the secret behind the killing of that woman? Ndishakupa mari start a business. What is the case with this young girl here anonzi titi with girlfriend ya Chiwenga? Ndishakupa mari start a business. What is the case with Angel Hubert and Talent Chiwenga? Ndakatumira musikana uyu kuti anoona kuti vanhu vari genuine ndevapi, ndiri kuvatesta. What did Hubert say? Ndakatumwa negurumende kuti ndinotaridza vanhu vese, ndinoona kuti vanhu ava veAl Jazeera intelligence. And they think these young men that the people of Zimbabwe are stupid by their reasoning. So now, what am I trying to show you? I'm trying just to show you their reasoning. Kuti to my fake preachers, to my kumana to my zutu, tunofunga kuti vanhu vemuZimbabwe havana pfungwa. Kana munhu achitaura kuti ndichakupa mari yokuti unotanga business kumusikana wemuchechi, chanyanya kufadza, hanzi netsumo yemashona, moyo muchena wei, svimborume kubvisa mwana wemvana madzikwa, kungonopa mwana wemusikana muchechi mari akanaka kuti astart a business, zvinenge zvabva kupi? Answer me. So what is the case? The case is, when are the people of Zimbabwe going to wake up to see that these pastors are cheating them, taking monies and sinning with that money? Yes, no, not mama, uchimpa mari, achifeva ni mari yoyo. When are you going to open your eyes? And ndoza wachona nchiti, aba vanonyora kuti, hey, unorubengo na eno, don't even read those things, because ndivo vana Talent Chiwenga negenga rake vari kutozviita ivavo.
So I'm just getting this as a summary here. So you said the case of a woman, right, who's promised money after
Yes.
what? After getting raped or getting bedded, right?
Abused, sexually abused. You see,
Abused.
Simba. One of the things about Zimbabwe, one of the things which we must look at, the larger picture about the girl child, Zimbabwe, 17, 18, 19, 20, kusvika pa 30 years, handiti? Generation isati yamboshanda. Generation isingazivi chinhu chinonzi kumuka uchinda kuindustry, kana kuti kumuka uchinda kufactory, kana kuti kumuka uchinda kuchikoro kunoshanda, kana kuti kuteaching, kana kuti kufactory. Havasati vamboshanda. And vana ava chavanongoziva imafia yeZanu PF nevafundisi venhema vari kuva abuse. And I have stopped blaming any child, girl child, and no options arara nedara. So kana sexual abuse, I am talking about rape. I am talking about mwana angorarwa asina kuvhuma and akangoona surprise you atove naked. Ndo inonzi abuse iyoyo Simba. When you look at a child in Zimbabwe today who is in front of a teacher, who is in front of a teacher, who is in front of an MP, who is in front of a preacher, ukanzwa uchinzi ararwa, mwana iyeye haadi kupiwa mhosva. When you look at the situation in Zimbabwe, mwana iyeye anoda kutobatsirwa. Saka mwana iyeye anotonzi tsitsi. Nepakawanikwa vanhu vane mwoyo woumai nomweya woufundisi hwechokwadi vakamunanga, because I am sure that girl was taken by surprise kuti zvakaitika hana explanation kuti angazviexplaina kupi. Ndo inonzi sexual abuse iyoyo Simba. It consists of rape, kuvhuma usina kuvhuma asina kuti uda mari, you are under duress. And munyika dzino mutemo anofanirwa kuti asungwe. Ndosa uchaona munhu akaita saUbet izvozvo haachadi kuuya kuno kuUK because anoziva kuti kune vanhu vakamumirira. Akaita the same things and nyika ino haitolereti marara akadaro.
Wow. You know, you seem to be taking quite a very strong trajectory there, Mr. Nyoni. But quickly, we've got people who might want to ask questions.
Yes.
We've got Manjoro, who's just tuned in. Simba Manjoro, good evening to you. Would you like to go ahead, please?
Good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon, Manjoro. Maswera say.
My network is too bad here. Sorry.
Oh, it is well. It is well. Please do go ahead. We can hear you. Please do go ahead. Oh, I hope he's still there. Simba Manjoro, would you please go ahead? You can ask your question, sir. Simba Manjoro. Okay, maybe just drop your question, please. Okay. Right, I've had to mute him. When you're ready, Simba Manjoro, then I can include your question. Right. Those who are watching via or listening via Twitter Space, you can press the microphone button if you would like us to bring you in and you ask anything over here. Right. Manjoro, are you ready now? Okay, Manjoro is quiet. And right, General Kayemba is saying here, is asking you and saying, look, Simba asked a simple question. When you used to stood with him in the past, for example, the day in the studio when talking about Zanu, did you not have a vision to see how a hypocrite and an abuser he could be that you now mention and voice about him? That's General Kayemba there.
That is an irrelevant question. Aina zvaino prove out whether I say yes or no to his answer. Aina zvaino prove to what we are facing here. These are distractors. Andifungi ndine nguva yeku answer such a foolish question.
Right, and then Tawanda Nyanyiwa, shoot. Tawanda Nyanyiwa. Okay. Okay, Tawanda Nyanyiwa, give us your comment, or is it a question? Ask your question, please, Tawanda. Okay, well, Tawanda is quiet, so we're going to move to Maikon Nuvang. Okay, Maikon, are you going to ask questions? I don't know what is happening here.
Simba?
Yes, sir.
Be aware that most of the people who might be trying to engage me, their agenda is not the truth. Their agenda is to disturb the program. And in personally, I don't have time for such.
Right.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we are dealing with matters of paramount importance zvokutoti hatidi kuti tiweste nguva nezvinhu nemibvunzo iri isina direction.
Right.
Vana unoziva kuti Simba kana ukaita mwana musikana ukanzwa uchinzi arepwa nomunhu kwaasina kunoripota kusina kwaanonoripota, it's not an easy thing, Simba. That country, do you know, it's only that sometimes I don't know. Do you know the problems which people are in Zimbabwe? And this is why tiri so naive and tichingotamba nenyaya yeZimbabwe kuti zviri right munyika muya. Things are not well in that nation. And I tell you, Simba, I have no time to waste. Nokupindura mibvunzo isina musoro. We have serious issues to address.
Wow. Tawanda, are you going to ask a question? Tawanda Nyanyiwa, it's my first time seeing you here. Tawanda Nyanyiwa, you are quiet. I'm wondering, is this a network issue irikuitika ku Zimbabwe or what?
Okay, let's go ahead then.
I think he's here now. He's here now. Yeah, shoot, Tawanda.
Yes. I'm online.
Okay, ask your question, please, before the network cuts you.
Okay. Before I even try to put myself into some of your issues concerning myself into Zimbabwe. Am I really registered so that I can contribute to your issues in Zimbabwe? Because you know what, I went to voters' roll, I wasn't there and everything, and I'm wondering, even if this discussion matters, you know, it really breaks my heart that you are interviewing me and I don't understand the state of matter of what I'm even discussing with you as Zimbabwean, you see? And I just hold my kids there.
I hear you. So you're groaning here. Your complaint is over the fact that there is a deeper crisis here that we should be focusing on. And that's the crisis of the voters' roll, of people waking up and they're finding that their names have been dropped. When did you discover that your name is not on the voters' roll?
Zimbabwe, you know what? I'm an engineer by profession. I graduated last year. The National University of Technology. I'm an industrial and manufacturing engineer. And I find myself in a squeaky voice with you because of some network interactions, which I shouldn't be acquiring, since I didn't want to invest so much in data and stuff. But nevertheless, I'm heartbroken, you know, in terms of the way I'm articulating everything, in terms of how I'm going to determine myself in the nearest future if I have 2 kids and I have a wife that I'm paying for fees. Whatever stage she has to be in. You know what? I can't explain this dark cloud that I'm into, because I don't have a voter's role in my way that I can say, I am Zimbabwean. I registered Muswa 15 2017 to vote. Register paper and voter. Now I'm not in the registered vote. I'm not in the ZEC list, and the thing is, I'm still discussing with you about matters to do with Zimbabwe that right now I cannot even deal with. It's fucked up, man. I cannot further discuss with you with this. I can just do this today. I can mute myself and I just want to listen. But we just saying here, Zimbabwe, how are we going to roll out something that matters, because this shit doesn't make sense, man. This shit doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, well, Mr. Nyoni Murkwinzo akayo nyaya.
Yeah, andinoona zviri kuitika kuZimbabwe aati vanonzi Mr. Nav.
Yeah, Tawanda Manjoro, right?
Okay. Personally, I've passed a stage where.
Oh, sorry, Tawanda Tanyanyiwa, anditika.
Okay, listen, Tawanda Tanyanyiwa, did it?
Mm-hmm.
You have a body called ZEC, and you have political parties called Zanu PF and CCC. Let me put it this way. You have a team called the Dynamos, and you have got a team called the Caps United, and you have got a referee and a t-shirt yakanzi Dynamos, akabata pembe yakanzi Dynamos, ane masocks yakanzi Dynamos, akapfeka masutas anosponsorwa neDynamos, and you are a Caps United fan, and you are saying tiri kuda kuti tione kuti mukombe tautora. Aoniwo here kuti referee anofanirwa kuti akutaurire zviri kuitika mugame nerigari aya akapfeka iyi. So now my point being that I don't want to waste time talking about my elections of Zimbabwe, because there is nothing like elections in Zimbabwe. We are just trungorota zvedu. There are no elections in Zimbabwe, to be honest. So now when you are telling me that Zita Rako does not appear on the list, it's something which we mustn't even be talking about, because Zeki Ashona is Zanu PF. So when we are normal chaiwo, they mustn't even be talking about the forthcoming elections. Those are shown out in Nyangwe Sisi Yachamisa Chayo and Chambooni Nekwa kuenda ne direction yavari kuti vari kuto endorse kuti my elections achaitwa nezviri kuitika. So now this takes us to the issue yatarwa na Tawanda iyeyi kuti there are serious issues. Hakuna zvichachinja kuZimbabwe, tiri kutowesta nguva yedu nema elections aya, because elections will change nothing.
Right. Someone is asking this. So what can be done? Anzina yo mega, what can be done? I remain convinced, Mr. Nyoni, in any personally speaking, and I know, you and I, we met in 2015 when it was impossible to bring down a rapist in the UK with no scientific evidence. Because remember, there was no scientific evidence there that man had raped those young girls. Yeah, remember? In Scotland, where we met for the first time. And at that time, I couldn't trust Mr. Nyoni, because I actually thought that Mr. Nyoni had been sent, that he was one of Walter Masocha's CIOs sent to to poison me.
Do you know, Siva, can I tell you something about my unfortunate errands in the community of Zimbabwe about my CIO and it?
Yes.
You know, when you look at a man anonzi CIO cannot a woman anonzi CIO and it.
Yeah, I hope you're not going to blow up my thought before I drop it.
Okay, I'm just saying kuti vanhu vanonzi CIO, they lack ambition. Kuve CIO rino represent Zanu PF ne Zimbabwean government. That's a lack of ambition.
Okay.
So why am I saying this? CIO achicha unowana chi muzvinhu zvoitwa nevanhu veZanu PF.
Right.
If you are normal, kana usiri mbavha.
Yeah, while we are on it, Mr. Nyoni, I'm
Eh,
saying since I met you in 2015,
eh.
and at that time, the victims seemed to have no. Remember, it was difficult. It looked like it was. It
Some
was.
of them,
It was
they
never.
were my
Yeah,
neighbors. They didn't even want to talk about it.
absolutely. But have you noticed something? That you and I, when we went into that McDonald's and we briefly had lunch, and then after that, you took me to my hotel because you live in the area, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you seen that since 2015, so many things have evolved? Let me again sita and chita shona pana. Pane sports aputika ever since that time.
Eh.
And the pane zvimwe zvinhu zvakawanda zvatanga tisingafungire kuti zvichaitika. Like, for instance, exposing Hubert Angel. At that time, it
Yeah.
was impossible, wasn't it? When you and
Okay.
I had lunch, yeah, and you were telling me clearly yourself, Simba,
Eh.
Hubert is a criminal. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Hubert
told
is,
you.
yeah, and you told me all these things. You told me about Makandiwa. It was in 2015. Yeah,
Yeah.
a few months later on, I would prove it for myself that
Okay.
Makandiwa had
Before
faked.
before we even continue, can I laugh at you because you were saying Makandiwa is a man of God?
Well, no, I do remember at that time. I was so at that time. You know what? I didn't have much.
Can I hold you? Can I hold you? Can
Yes.
I hold you?
Yes,
Can I hold you guys?
yes.
Can I hold you? Can I hold you?
Go ahead.
Yes.
I was about.
you know
Hold on.
what?
Oh, Tawanda. I was
No,
about to
can I-
actually answer
can I-
you.
can
I was about to
hold
answer you.
Can I hold you?
Okay, go ahead.
In elementary level, and not
Go ahead.
at your journalism level or whoever is the minister here. Can I hold you? Then I talk about this thing at an elementary level.
Go ahead.
Can
Shoot.
I hold you?
Shoot.
Can I hold you? Sorry, can I hold you? Then,
Just
Yeah,
go ahead.
Say
Go
Takaterera.
ahead. Go ahead. You keep repeating. Just go ahead.
all right, guys, I've been in tertiary education. I've been at NUST, National University of Science and Technology. You know what? That's where corruption starts from, I have guys who will take me to sports, I go to the sports academy at UZ, right? And somebody will just make sure that people will spend $100 and while he was given $3,000 and yekuti asponse vanhu kuti varare mumahotels nice places, then munhu will spend $2,000 on a girlfriend. What do we do panyaya yedisciplinary yevana ivavo vanodaro? Because you know what, it's at elementary stage. We cannot talk about journalists and professors here. We're talking about students who are happening to be practicing corruption at the deepest level. What the fuck's going on in Zimbabwe?
Okay.
I hear you're upset, but I want to tell you here, these are the reasons why when you see the kind of work that I do, I don't know if you have followed my kind of journalism over the time. This is the reason why I'm very confrontational. It is with this type of understanding of how deeply rooted, how messed up our country is. That is why and how I have confronted some of the biggest criminals on earth over the last few years.
It's not about the country here. It's about the regulations that we need to put in our institutions. Whether a classroom, whether a class monitor has to act like this. Because you know what, guys? Life is too short for us to demonstrate these instructions to the whole world. We need to demonstrate these issues to our small institutions. We need to find it out. No, this mwana arikuratidza gwara iri. See, not in English. Not in English. We don't want apples or bananas to like make sure kuti mwana ari kubudisa results. No, what we really want here is to mold unhu mukona muvanhu, because inini I come from a very 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 poverty background, but I find myself in a place whereby I feel like I'm growing. Then somebody who came from a place in a opportunity very big is the person who is taking some food from my mouth, you know. So it doesn't really make sense, you know. It's not about where you come from. It's about understanding the love, you know, as brothers in Zimbabwe, we have to be brothers keepers.
You
there
know,
are people who are doing real corruption, really serious, and we just really have to understand them, because they're occupying hand to mouth business. But no, my guys, come on, this has to be eliminated at an elementary level. You know, you understand?
You know, the way I hear you, I feel your heart. I am just like you. I grew up kumapraza, ndakakurira kumangura inini. Okay, and I know here Mr. Nyoni also comes from a poor background, and we've seen what it is. Yeah, what I wanted to just was to answer your question there, so that you know what is being done, because it might look as if we, though we are older than you, we are ignoring those pertinent issues. We're ignoring the fact that you're not on the voters' roll. So that is what I wanted to just finish answering you, and then we can go deeper into what it is. Have you watched the Gold Mafia documentary?
Yeah, I did watch that thing.
Okay.
But that thing was double-sided, you know.
Okay.
It was double-sided, you know.
What do you mean? What is being double-sided? Are you saying it was compromised? It was cheap?
It was at a personal levels analysis, and it was compromised, you know.
Why do you say what made you understand? What compromised it? What compromised the Gold Mafia documentary?
Zimai.
What compromised? What compromised?
I wouldn't not say that, you know, our country is trying to nguava in terms of making us, you know, everybody, you know, it's trying to make us live not really a decent life, but it's trying to make us, you know, trying to exist in a picture of a global world, you know. We are trying to make Zimbabwe exist in a global picture, you see.
Right.
So
okay.
They are trying all the means, you see.
Okay.
These sanctions are real. You know, there are so many functions. There are really so many functions.
I need you.
I'm not
just hold on. I'm losing.
Am I a CCC Patriot? But the thing is, in my heart, I want Zimbabwe to move as a whole. You know, there's something that we need to understand and eradicate. We need one love. You know, you understand one love.
Okay, right. Okay, can you hold? You know,
Yes.
as you're speaking, if you can say one thing, so that we can also have others responding, because we might end up spending the whole night. Let me just pause you.
Just end my story here, then
okay.
Everything can be.
Okay,
So,
okay, Simba.
Yeah, so let me just pause you. Let me just pause you. Okay, thank you very much. Right. Okay, let's just get last question from Dabi, and we're going to be shutting shortly. Dabi? Okay, Dabi is quiet. Okay, so Dubby is not speaking, but folks, here we are. The statement that's been said there seemed to suggest that there is no concern over what is happening over the voters' roll, over people failing to vote, or in this case, finding that their names have been removed from the voters' roll. So there seemed to be a suggestion that this news discussion tonight here has no regard over what people are suffering, and I was trying to answer
Okay, Simba.
the gentleman there. Yes.
Yeah, you see, when you look at, if I have to be very honest with the way you have tried to expose things in Zimbabwe, you are one of those people who are to enlighten the majority of our people, be it socially, be it politically or religious circles. You have touched issues which expose the general consensus of the nation of Zimbabwe. So now for someone to come and say, hauna passion ye zviri kuitika current affairs, the politics, in as much as the voters' role is concerned, it's an understatement. So what I'm just simply trying to say is that I don't think that is the right platform. I don't know now. You are a news outlet. I will see a legislator kuti zvawataura nezvawareza zvatoitwa document muparliament yokuZimbabwe, meaning kuti we can change things the way we are engaging hazvishandi nenzira iyoyo. So for someone to come and say I expect something to be done through ZimI or what we are saying kuZimbabwe, is neither here nor there. Hazvishandi. We are just trying to raise issues kuti voters anoona iye zvino tingaumburuka tikachema tikadii. We are not the right people to change the political landscape Zimbabwe as things stand.
We are the right people to change the political issue in Zimbabwe and everything. It only takes you to understand where I'm coming from. Kuti iwewe tinomburuka nezve entertainment industry right now, but really, I'm not in the voters for nigga. What else can I be talking about in Zimbabwe?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tawanda.
I am saying the impression that we don't
those things, my
okay,
nigga.
hold on.
But we also
hold on, Tawanda. Tawanda, let him speak, please. Because you had quite a lot of time here to speak. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Nyon.
I was just saying, when you take this platform and try to impose it, kuti ive inoita document or legislate or endorse the happenings of the things the Zimbabwean government is expected to perform, azviiti. My news houses, they are just there to raise issues.
Oh,
so
I
now
think
for someone to come and say,
there.
For someone to come and say, ZimI must solve the problems of Zimbabwe, and it is not gonna. Whereas we talk about the problems, but we are not the right people to solve them in as much as changing the course of the nation is concerned. Tinokwanisa kuchinja nokungoinfluence vanhu, but not nokudocumenta zvinhu kuti voters roll iwane zita romukomana ari kutaura uyu. We can't change that. So I hope I am not being rude, but I'm just trying to put an idea across. Hello? Are you still there, Simba? If viewers are still listening, and ndikuda kuti nditini zvatiri kuona kuZimbabwe, it's a shame kuti sometimes vanhu vanoguma vakumukirana kuita sokuti problem ina journalist kana kuti problem ina news reporter, whereas the problems of Zimbabwe are so massive. We are just trying to inform and expose the corruption, especially on my side, which happens to be Zema pastors. Zokuti ndingachinja voters roll, kauti ndichinje ZEC maitiro ayo, kauti ndichinje zvinhu zvomuCCC kandi ZANU-PF. Ndinongozviexpose asi handikwanisi kuzvichinja. Hello.
I apologize. We got cut off there. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you, Simba.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it looks like to me, I might be wrong, but I feel like maybe we're getting bombed on our Twitter space there with a little bit of distraction. My distractors, maybe. It seems they were. Yeah, it seems to me that we were being bombed. You know, just maybe just to divert our discussions. It feels. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be. Yeah, but that's what I was struggling there to obtain. But Mr. Nyoni, I was just about to conclude, and I think we do need to conclude here.
Mm.
Do you agree with me? Since that day we sat in that McDonald's in 2015, there have been a lot of developments where aggressive, confrontational, truth-searching journalism has pursued the matters that are key and core to the Zimbabwean life, the people also who are at the center of what's going on. And right now, we see not only is Masocha out of the arena of abuse or where he was abusing women, Hubert Anjo, for instance, completely, totally exposed. TB Joshua also exposed. Chris Oyakilome exposed. What I'm saying is, not just that, the people who are inside the political apparatus here, Emerson Mnangagwa exposed, but not just exposed here. We have seen an escalation of detail that is crucial to people obtaining not just the information that they need, but the facilities also thereof that can change their lives. In the last 8 years, it's 8 years since that day we were in Falkirk, Scotland. This year is the 8th. Do you agree? Kuti, things might be depressing in Zimbabwe, but when people are dedicated, and then when there is a vibrant media that is devoted to investigating the truth and to serving the public, stuff happens.
Okay.
And truths happen. Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
Can I put it this way, Simba?
As we conclude, thank you. Yeah.
Can I put it this way? One of the things about our people from Zimbabwe, not everyone. I'm not going to say everyone knows Atiri, But Zimbabwe, mostly we are too emotional when something is happening. Kana pakakaita kanoresisa guruva so tikafunga kuti kari right, so tinobva tava emotional zvokutoti we lose our bearings kuti hatifungi hatirizini. Be it CCC, kana kuti be it Ivani Mawiyarire, kana be it anything involving emotions. Tinobva tangowira mudziva munomvura inoboila hatifungi kuti zvinoguma nei. What I'm trying to put across is we have got very short memories, in the sense that when we engage in politics, or be it religion, or be it politics, or social media generally, tinongowira hatisi rational. Like, if I can give an example of nyaya Ivani Mawarire, do you know kuti Simba, I stood on this very platform and did tikataura nyaya this flag, kuti flag flag yaMnangagwa. Was I wrong?
You were spot on there. Well, I would later on myself get messages from Evan trying to protect the regime from scrutiny. And he would submit. Yeah, I remember one time he sent me an audio that had hypnotic music defending the regime and defending its choices of ministers and the like. I mean, directly from Evan himself.
Ndikakutaurira Simba matukirwe andakaitwa nema-viewers eZim Aigore iroro 2016 pandakati Ivani Mawarire is a forerunner waMnangagwa. It was this and that. Why Zimbabweans let us learn to be smart. The same thing with these pastors. Don't think kana munhu wamufarira uchiona zviri from the surface ndozvazviri. Try to dig. So now, if I can ask all of you, vanhu vaindituka kuti Ivani Mawarire flag yaakabata ndeyaMnangagwa, munoti chinas ane flag ndiani? Who is posing with the flag? Just answer a simple question. Where is the flag? I said this before Mnangagwa became president. Ndikati flag ndeyaMnangagwa ishi. Was I wrong? The answer
you were too cutting edge there. You were too confrontational, perhaps. You should have been a little bit. You should have been a little bit more nice, nice, so that we could flow with you.
Sometimes delivering a point doesn't need. Do you know when I tell you something you don't want to hear, you just say I'm not being nice. Being nice is telling someone what they want to hear. Do I let being nice yemazwano? Asi ukataurirwa zvausingadi kunzwa, unoti munhu ari confrontational kuti ari mean. You see, Simba, one of the things the problems we are having in these days, is that people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear what they want to hear. If zvino ndikasimuka ndikati Mnangagwa acharigama elections and vanhu tichatsuwa. To some people, I'm not being nice because I'm supposed to say Chamisa Aja win. When you look at my friend Chamisa, hana chance because of what is happening. That's the truth. And I don't support Zanu PF, and do you know, Simba, can I tell the viewers about my background in Zanu PF? Can I say it?
I think you have talked about your background with the killings and stuff, yeah.
I left my home in 1979. Up to today, pamba peda apana mnanopa gara takadzingwa nevanhu veZanu. 1979. Saka inini ndiri munhu akatourayiwa neZanu kudhara asi ndiri kufamba. So, issue yokutoti kana munhu wokuZimbabwe ukamutaurira kuti no, the way things are unfolding in Zimbabwe, there is no way our friend Chamisa will dethrone Mnangagwa at this moment because things are bad. Ukatarisa maitiko maroerwo ari kuitwa vanhu. All you have to say to the people of Zimbabwe is by being nice is that Chamisa achawina achapinda, which is a fallacy when you look at reality. When you look at what is happening in Zimbabwe, at the moment, hakuna opposition ichapinda paya because of what is happening. That is the truth. And that doesn't make me a supporter of Zanu PF. Because I hate Zanu PF with a passion. Those who know me, they will tell you what I'm talking about. And vanhu vari rational vanofunga vanonyatsoona kuti zviri kuitwa muZimbabwe Chamisa hafi akabvisa Zanu PF at the moment. Why? Zanu PF yachera migodi zvisingatoiti kuti just ZEC itself is testimony enough kuti hakuna opposition yapinda paya.
But masports anogona kuitika ka? Masports anogona kuitika. Masports anogona kutambika ka? Because how many countries have had rapid change? You could be right in the sense that there are no facts at present, or we call them immediately perceivable facts that point to, yeah. But my point is, masports anogona kuitika pa.
Do you know, Simba? I think I will be very correct to say I'm one of the people. I'm not talking about Zimbabwe. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. The things I've stood for and which I stand for. Kuti nditi zvinhu muZimbabwe hazvina kumira zvakanaka. How many years I have been out of Zimbabwe? 22 years. I started in Zimbabwe because I know what is happening in that nation. Kuti mune vanhu vanokuuraya because they want to what? To consolidate power. So it's a tragedy. Being nice in Zimbabwe is saying what people want to hear. That's being nice.
Wow. Mr. Johnny.
Thank you, Simba.
You know, this has been yeah, this has been an interesting discussion. I had invited several people from Zanu PF. They didn't turn up. I invited Vamugwadi, Avanakuda, Zmungoa Nomboya, but Nasa Avanakuya. I wanted to discuss a lot of topics here that relate to Nyayadze, the entrance, Yavana Kasukuwere, and the like. But anyway, just lastly here, Johannes Peter says, Chamisa anotonga this masports takapedza kwari.
Do you know if that could happen, I would be the first person to land in Zimbabwe.
Right, Mainzaka. Va Johannes, here we are. Mr. Nyoni, thank you very much tonight. It's been great for us to just talk about these things that are there. By the way, I want to invite Talent Chiwenga. I've always invited you, Muningina, since 2017 when you came, Panapa. You know that you're always invited. All right, so he was running something called Dare.
Hey, you are accused of sleeping with a woman.
No, young man. You know you're free. You're free, Talent Chiwenga, to come back, and we just discuss what's happening in our country. And I'm not going to explain now, like you did there. So, thank you very much tonight, our viewers, witnesses. Here we are. And by the way, don't forget Futron. Futron is the new way of transport in Zimbabwe. Here we go.
Welcome to Futron Africa, your getaway to cheap, quick, and safe rides with vetted and experienced drivers. Planning on going somewhere? Just download the Futron app for Android from the Google Play Store or the iOS from the Apple App Store. Register and request your rides. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, whether it's Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to receive service updates and promotions. Do you own a car? Do you want to make extra money? Do you want to be your own boss? Do you want to work when you want to? Why don't you join the Futron Driver program? We are recruiting drivers across major cities. Download the Futron Driver app for Android from the Google Play Store or for iOS from the Apple App Store and register. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to view the driver requirements for registration. Registration is free of charge. Download the app and request your ride or join the Futron Driver program and start earning money. Futron Africa. Request, ride, and connect. Welcome to Futron Africa, your getaway to cheap, quick, and safe rides with vetted and experienced drivers. Planning on going somewhere? Just download the Futron app for Android from the Google Play Store or the iOS from the Apple App Store. Register and request your rides. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, whether it's Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to receive service updates and promotions. Do you own a car? Do you want to make extra money? Do you want to be your own boss? Do you want to work when you want to? Why don't you join the Futron Driver program? We are recruiting drivers across major cities. Download the Futron Driver app for Android from the Google Play Store or for iOS from the Apple App Store and register. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to view the driver requirements for registration. Registration is free of charge. Download the app and request your ride or join the Futron Driver program and start earning money. Futron Africa. Request, ride, and connect. Welcome to Futron Africa, your getaway to cheap, quick, and safe rides with vetted and experienced drivers. Planning on going somewhere? Just download the Futron app for Android from the Google Play Store or the iOS from the Apple App Store. Register and request your rides. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, whether it's Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to receive service updates and promotions. Do you own a car? Do you want to make extra money? Do you want to be your own boss? Do you want to work when you want to? Why don't you join the Futron Driver program? We are recruiting drivers across major cities. Download the Futron Driver app for Android from the Google Play Store or for iOS from the Apple App Store and register. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by choosing your country page, Futron Africa Botswana, Futron Africa South Africa, Futron Africa Namibia, Futron Africa Zambia, or Futron Africa Zimbabwe to view the driver requirements for registration. Registration is free of charge. Download the app and request your ride or join the Futron Driver program and start earning money. Futron Africa. Request, ride, and connect.